Okay, boys and girls, we are back, and I finally got my bottle fixed here, so I got a sprayer that works. Now, how much product do you use? Here's the main thing you need to keep in mind. If you use too much product, you clog the pores that are in the pad. Once you clog the pores, the pad no longer cuts. That's why you don't use too much product. That is very easy to do as liquefied as this product is. So what you have to do is pay attention to what happens on the car when you start spraying this stuff on the pad. You got to look at how it's spreading. If you're slinging stuff everywhere, you use way too much polish. It shouldn't be slinging anywhere at all. Now, I have sprayed some on here right now, and I'm going to show you how much is on there. And I'm going to start working with that amount and see what happens, because the results are going to show me what I need to see. So now I'm going to spread this out. I'm going to avoid coming up here, getting polish on this rubber trim, because once you get it on there, you're going to catch the blues trying to get it off. Okay, so I'm going to just work in this little section right here. I'm not going to go any lower. So here I go. Now, what I want you to see now is how lucid this polish is, and it looks like Vaseline all over the car. That is a perfect amount of compound to be spraying. That's how much I want to work with. You're doing this outdoors, you put too much of this stuff on here, you're going to have dust and polish flaking off and throwing all over the place. You're going to have a mess. And then you're going to have a mess to clean up, because it is not something you want to experience. So now I'm going to continue on. Okay, boys and girls, let me fix my microphone real quick. I just lost. But while I'm doing that, let me say this to you. With the hyper compound, what you need to do is make sure that you stop working it when it appears to haze up really bad. So as it starts to haze up real good, you want to make sure that you stop working with it and get that stuff off the car. Now what I'm going to use is a blue version of the Creature to get this off of here. So first I want you to see how easy it comes off the paint. Now notice that I didn't have to use any detail spray, and notice I got all of that stuff off the paint. If it ain't that easy for you, you've probably put way too much product on the car or on the pad, or you worked it way too long. You saw that I did not have to scrub the paint to death to do that. Now, one of my camera angles right now is catching how beat up the paint looks. That's what a compound does. A compound beats the paint up in order to get all the scratches out. That's what it does. Now, I was going to come down here and do this section, but just to save time, I'm going to stick with this up here. I'm going to stay up here. This is going to be enough of a contrast to show you what this product does. So I'm going to do one more pass. Here's the rule that you have to remember. A compound is used to remove paint damage. That's what a compound does. A polish will spit shine the paint back to perfection once the compound has removed all the damage. Now, if you have extremely light damage, you do not have to use a compound. A polish will remove extremely light damage. But in a situation like what we're doing here, where the paint is really jacked up, you use that compound until every piece of damage that you want to get out of the paint is gone. One thing I want you to notice, one of the things I want you to notice is that scratch that was all the way down here that I said I had to wet sand. That puppy's almost gone. If I worked it long enough with the compound, I probably could get rid of it without wet sanding, except for when I get down to the other end down there, because it is pretty bad. I can feel it with my fingernail. So, but a lot of it is gone. So I'm gonna do a quick pass, one more pass with the hyper compound, just so that when I use this hyper polish, I want you all to be able to see just how good of a job this stuff does. So I'm looking at my pad, and I'm gonna show that to you all. Let me do that now. I want you to see how much polish is on that pad right there now. And if I wanted to, I could test it by spritzing it with some detail spray and then putting it up against the car and dab. And if it looks real watery, I know my pad's in good shape. If it looks real thick, then I know I got too much polish, or in this case, compound, on the pad. So I need to work that out using detail spray. I don't want to put more polish on there. So these are things that you learn the more you do this, and you'll get a feel for just how much to use. So here I go again. That's how much product I'm using. All right. So I'm gonna do one more pass here. Here I go. Okay, what my polish was doing right there was it was starting to get too dry and throw a couple of flakes. So I stopped immediately when I saw that. As soon as I seen that, I know that polish has been worked long enough, and you don't want to keep going, because like I said, you will have a mess on your hands. So I'm wiping this off. And now, when I look at this in the light, as I look at this, it looks like every ounce of that damage is gone. The paint is extremely dull, just like a compound likes to leave it, but it looks a whole lot better. So now, what I'm gonna do is remove my compounding pad and go to a finishing pad. In this case, I'm using a black one. I'm gonna set my hyper compound out of the way, and now I'm gonna go to my hyper polish. Now, the nice thing about polishes are a lot more forgiving. If you make a polish dust up, you really doing something wrong. These are very forgiving. You can work them a lot longer. They're real user friendly, especially this one. So I'm gonna spray this on here. Let you see how much I use. That's how much I'm using. And one more thing that I want to make sure I mention. This flex works the polish a lot more than, say, a PC 7424. So you would not use as much polish and especially not as much compound if you were using the PC. All right? If I can make this dust up indoors on a cold panel, you are going to catch the blues outdoors on a hot panel. Okay? So if you're using the PC 7424 XP, you don't want to use too much of this stuff. I'm using more because of this flex. It works the polish a lot harder, so I can use more. So here I go. I'm going to do my polishing stage, which I've removed all the damage. Now I put the spit shine on the paint. That's what a polish will do for you. This is where the shine on your paint comes from. Not from a wax, not from anything else. There ain't shine fairies out there that come visit your car in the middle of the night. Polish is the answer. All right. Okay, the first thing you should have noticed was how long I just worked that polish. And I could, if I wanted to, keep working it. That's the kind of work time that you get out of a good polish. And watch how easy it is to wipe it off. Again, I'm using a creature and I'm using the plush side of it. Now, look at this shine appearing before your eyes. Look at that. Look at that. Take a look at that. I would put my Cro-Magnon dome up against that shine, baby. Check it out. Boy, that's a shine right there. That's 2 passes with hyper compound, 1 pass with hyper polish. Look at that. I didn't even try, and those are the results I got. You don't have to use any specific product. You just have to have a solid technique. It just so happens that every product that you saw me use right now, I can get in one spot. That's one box showing up at your house that you got to look for. There it is right there. So I'm not even going to do any more. That right there says enough. Let me shut this door so that you can get a contrast and get an idea of the difference. So there's my line. Let me see if I can see that. Yeah, you can see that. So there's the difference right there. That was 2 passes. Jacked up paint. This paint was jacked. It's jacked up. And 2 passes with hyper compound, One pass with hyper polish, and I got those results right there. All right? Technique trumps product 24/7. You saw me do this with Meguiar's. Now you're seeing me do it with Optimum. I can prove to you right there that it works. All right? So we're going to cut here, and then I'm going to recap the stuff I used and the product and any other things that I forgot. Here we go. All right, boys and girls, I'm going to finish this up. What I want to do real quick, though, is slap a little Carnauba paste wax on here. I'm using some Carnauba paste wax I got from Hawks Detail. And I want to put this on here. The reason I want to show you all this real quick is because a lot of people will put Carnauba paste wax on a car, and then it will take forever to get off, and they can't figure out why. They're like, wow, man, this stuff is hard to get off. And the reason why is because you used too much product and left it on too long. So I want you to see how much I'm using in this little spot here. And while I do that, I want you to see how long I leave it on the car. Okay, so I put it on that spot. Now, I'm going to finish up by recapping what I did. I used some Optimum Hyper Compound to get all the damage out of the paint. Once all the damage was gone, of course I didn't go for perfection, I'm going for time. I then followed it with some Optimum Hyper Polish. The polish put that spit shine on the paint that you all got to see in the close-up. So that is pretty much it, the process. Of course, you know I clayed. You saw how I used the Optimum product, the Optimum No Rinse. I told you about the pitfalls of doing it the way I see a lot of people do. So it's going to take a lot of towels if you're going to use Optimum No Rinse. You're never going to do it on a car this dirty, but it's going to take a lot of towels if you do it right. That's the nice thing about the Creature, is it's inexpensive, very inexpensive. You compare that to the towels that I love to use, the Eagle Edgeless Blues, and you'll see a big significant price difference. If you buy like 1,000 of them, I bet you'll get a discount. So, but you're going to need a lot of those to do it. Now, guess what I'm about to do? Watch this. I just wiped this product off the car. Notice how long I left it on there. Notice how big of an area I did, and I wiped it off. I did not let that stuff sit there long. If you allow a Carnauba paste wax to get hard on the paint, you will need a chisel to get it off. Do not leave it on there that long. And whatever you do, do not do it in direct sunlight. Okay? So this concludes a quick version of my 2-hour 5-part video with this shorter version, so that you all can see that it's technique that trumps product. But I've shown you another product that you can get in one location and make your paint look like such. That would be theragcompany.com. Take a visit over to the website, take a look. You can get all this stuff in one spot. All right? So that concludes this video. This is the Junkman, shining out.